Only the magic of the cinema can bring people from all corners of the globe together, and Gen Z undoubtedly had some movies and franchises that helped to mold who they are now. Keep watching to learn more about the 5 movies that shaped Gen Zs everywhere. The Harry Potter franchise. When the first Harry Potter movie was released in 2001, children in Generation Z were just learning to walk, and the series did a good job of keeping up with them. One of the largest online fandoms, Potterheads produce wiki pages, communities, websites, and anthologies, and handmade Potter royalty items. The entire franchise brought in nearly $7.7 billion at the global box office. It's safe to say that HP's legacy is still going strong, and fans are constantly interested in what their favorite HP3 are up to now. A spin-off franchise called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is currently having its 3rd picture developed. The Twilight Saga. The first installment of the Twilight Saga was released in 2008, and it quickly gained youthful cross-cultural fame, grossing $3.4 billion globally. Everywhere Twilight fans gathered, the Team Edward versus Team Jacob argument raged, introducing them to some of today's top stars like Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Although they largely use the franchise as fodder for memes these days, fans still pay attention to their youthful heroes, and pretty much know everything there is to know about them. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anyone in Generation Z may undoubtedly recall their initial impression of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark in the 2008 film Iron Man. The rest, as they say, is history, as moviegoers everywhere got to see the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a vast, interconnected storyline with crossovers and collaborations between films. Gen Z-ers all over the world may recall the unmistakable eagerness for each release, even when the hoopla surrounding it faded. Donnie Darko. Everywhere you looked, weirdos flocked to the theaters to see Donnie Darko, including myself. It is a bizarre, avant-garde, and gloomy coming-of-age movie that still feels avant-garde and a little experimental today. Jake Gyllenhaal, an indie darling, then takes on the lead role. Funny enough, he has now acknowledged that even he had no idea what the movie was about when it was being filmed. Visit it for a bizarre experience. If you didn't watch Donnie Darko in the early 2000s, you were most definitely not a cool art student. The Lord of the Rings. In theaters from 2001 to 2003, this massive trilogy was helmed by Peter Jackson, who meticulously crafted each scene. This film received numerous honors, including the Oscars, Golden Globes, and SAGs, in addition to millions of people's hearts, both young and old. A great testament to the generational effect of LOTOR is the prequel series based on the book called The Hobbit that was developed in 2012 and ran for 3 parts, grossing close to $3 billion worldwide. Runner-up movies that shaped Gen Z. The Notebook. Why We Cherish It. In this tragic drama, Ryan Gosling is at his most seductive. It's a passionate and intensely romantic story that, in all honesty, raised our expectations for males to an unreasonably high level. But that's beside the point. In this endearing movie, adorable newbie Rachel McAdams shines, the same year she brought us Mean Girls and Icon. A list of the top movies from the 2000s must include it. Iconic quote: "Summer romances begin for all kinds of reasons, but when all is said and done, they have one thing in common. They're shooting stars, a spectacular moment of light in the heavens, fleeting glimpse of eternity, and in a flash, they're gone." Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Why We Cherish It. What's not to love about this intricate and completely unique tale of love and heartache? The famous aesthetic of French filmmaker Michael Gondry and the distinctive narrative of screenwriter Charlie Kaufman combine to create a potentially perfect movie. It perfectly expresses the melancholy, fashion, and longing of an age. Iconic quote: "Too many guys think I'm a concept, or I complete them, or I'm gonna make them alive. But I'm just a effed up girl who's looking for my own peace of mind. Don't assign me yours." American Psycho. Why We Adore It. Only filmmaker Mary Harron was able to transform Bret Easton Ellis' graphic novel into one of the most enduring motion pictures of the era. It's a grimly humorous portrayal of a serial murderer causing mayhem in the late 1980s New York City. There's no way to miss Christian Bale's outrageous and flawless performance. Iconic quote: "There's an idea of Patrick Bateman, some kind of abstraction, but there's no real me, only an identity, something illusory. And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there." A Walk to Remember. Why We Adore It. A Walk to Remember was Mandy Moore's entry into the film industry and cemented her status as America's sweetheart since her debut as a teen pop singer. It's a beautiful tale that was inspired by the hugely popular YA novel of the same name. It has just the proper amount of teen romance, but it's also a little cliched. I was unable to get enough. Gen Z fans use platforms like Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube to convey their enthusiasm and passion for certain things, or to make memes about things they used to love. With the previous generation having core memories over franchises like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, this one has for sure their different taste. So, for the love of past and future nostalgia, here are some of the films and franchises that Gen Zs everywhere grew up with.